Okay, so I've kept the Amiga back here. It's kind of tucked back there. You see it there. So it's been tucked there for a few years now, and so you're going to take it out and I'm going to do a review on it. Today for my segment Obsolete but Neato, I'm going to show this retro Amiga 1000 computer. Only Amiga. I don't know. Fire up the monitor. There has been some color has kind of gotten yellowed over the years. And here's a front look of the Amiga. And the Amiga had this little garage to slide the keyboard. I guess you can't get it with the way this wire is, but it had a little garage for the wire. You should take the wire, you tuck it behind the Amiga like that, something like that, I guess. And you just stick it in there, and it would tuck away the keyboard like that. And this is the A1000. It's the desktop model. There was other models. Most other models were the keyboard with the disk drive in the side of the keyboard type of models. I first saw, I think I first saw an Amiga at a Kmart, and then I saw like a video game with like a woman and like a Max Headrow type thing, and I thought that was really cool. I was like, I wish I could have one of these, but it was like the Atari 8-bit computers and the Commodore 64 was just more in my price range. That's what I had a Commodore 64 up to like the mid-90s until I had a Windows 3.1 computer. So one thing that I like is for the garage door thing, it has this little spot here so you can slide the keyboard underneath on it. So if you're setting it up and you want to just lay the keyboard down like that, and then you'll have your wire, and then the garage door hideaway for the keyboard. So it has this little disk drive in here. I have like the game's F18 Interceptor. And it would just go in there. You'd boot up your Amiga, and then you'd have to swap a lot of disks as well. Show the ports on the back of the Amiga. So the back, you see where the fan is. There's a video output and a TV monitor output there. And you pan along here, and there is the RGB left and right audio. So this thing had stereo. Serial port, which has a little picture of a telephone, which indicates it's probably for a modem. Disk drive port, which connects there, and the another parallel port. There's a parallel port, disk drive, and serial port. And this is where the keyboard would connect. It looks like a little telephone jack thing where the keyboard connects. Now on the left side, it just has the on-off switch. So this is the side. This is where the sidecar would connect. It looks like a video game cartridge, a Nintendo cartridge. The sidecar does not work anymore. I tried blowing on this and it still hasn't worked. So I'll show you the sidecar, but it just doesn't work. And then it has the joystick ports here, left and right, and I think the mouse. I'm not sure. It just says 1 and 2, but I don't know which one, which port the mouse has to be plugged into, because a lot of games required the mouse. So this is the Amiga Sidecar, and for what this would do is would allow you to run DOS programs, and it also had a hard drive in it so that you can save things on it, and I think you could even boot. I think you might have been able to boot with Workbench off of this. Not sure. I didn't really use the Amiga much, but people can. So forgive me in the comments if I'm wrong. I've used this a few times, but I haven't. I'm not overly an Amiga expert by any means. So to turn the sidecar around, now you can see this. This is kind of rusted here. This part here. This is where this was stored in a barn for like over a decade. So it has the two joystick ports, which I guess that might even plug right into the computer when you put the sidecar into the Amiga. Also, it has these ports here on the front. I don't know if they're opposite to what the joystick ports are, so I don't know exactly what's going on there. That might be for the DOS computers. And I'll turn that around. Just put this wire over here. This is one of the plugs for it. There. There's this on-off switches there. Another, doesn't really say what this port is, just parallel port. And it looks like if you were to take this thing apart, there would be other cards maybe you can add to it. It says connect for Amiga 1000 only. That's the French side. So the monitor is an Amiga monitor model 1080. It has this monitor actually. It has video, it has audio, video, and chroma. This audio must come in stereo because I actually have a stereo plug here, which converts that into stereo. You got your power plug, your RGB input, which connects to this larger socket thing that comes out of the back of the Amiga. Manufactured February 1986. So it has digital and analog RGB mode, PDS, and GB. Like, not this type disc, but I don't even have any of these anymore. I had one of these for the Commodore 64. I don't think this will work on the Commodore 64, I don't know. Anyway, so there's this Amiga Drive, which takes those actual floppy disks. I forget the name of them. And there we go. There's the port, parallel port for it. Just has an on-off switch. Power plug. Just your standard, computer plugs will fit in these things. That's the nice thing is it does have those standards, so you can find them at a thrift store or something like that. Another parallel port, because these things could be. The nice thing with that Commodore would do in those days is they would just, you'd be able to daisy chain, so you'd have an R drive, and another drive, and just daisy chain them together to run as many drives as you needed. The keyboard, a little worse for wear, but I like that it has the A button for the Amiga. It has like a bold A and and another A. It has your function keys up to function 10, and delete, and your backspace. Up, right, left, up, down. Looks, a little different. Like, I'd say the modern keyboard layout, what I'm used to, or using on most things, would be this one here. But it has these 4 buttons up here. Has your arrow keys. I kind of like the way more modern keyboards have it, but it's very sleek, packed together. It has function up to 10. This one has 11 and 12. Doesn't have a print screen and all this stuff that normal one has. Has the escape key. Has the tab. It has a lot of the stuff that we still have on keyboards. The alt key. Yeah, I still have an alt key on this one. The Windows super key would be the A key. Yeah, this runs Linux, but has that Microsoft symbol. But really, it's just the super. And another thing about the keyboard is on the back of the keyboard, it has like the telephone jack thing. Telephone jack type plug that would plug into the keyboard. Before I fire it up and as I'm hooking it up, the mouse, the Amiga mouse, I don't know if this is actually Amiga or just an aftermarket mouse. 2 buttons, no scrolling. It has the old-fashioned ball thingy inside of the for the mouse. I played Marble Madness on this, and it's kind of fun. The only thing is this mouse just does not feel as responsive as others. And it could have been just the technology of that time. Look at the back of it. So I got the 3 connections I got to worry about is the power plug for the monitor and the sound for the monitor, which is kind of neat how this system would work, where it would just power the sound through this monitor, and you wouldn't have to go and get like extra speakers like with a lot of the PCs. You would have to, like the ones I had in the 90s, you had to have extra speakers for them. So you're going to plug in the RGB port right there. I'll screw these little screw things in. It's interesting it has this video out. Maybe I should try to hook that up to a modern monitor just to see if it puts out any video. Alright, so I plugged it in and here it is running after all these years. Do I see the lines in the monitor? Yeah, I probably do, eh? Anyway, if this, it could be a CRT monitor, so it might have, I think it's asking for a disk. I guess I left it powered on. So I'm going to try F18 Interceptor. There, and then now it's booting off the disks, because a lot of the games, if you didn't have the hard drive for the Amiga, it would just boot right off of the disk. So, there, I've got the mouse working there. Sorry, I got a mess of wires here. F17, so I got Workbench release 1.2. Ooh. 423976 free memory and F18 Interceptor. Let's give you a Okay, for a lot of these Amigas, like especially the 1000, you would need either the Amiga Kickstart disk for a lot of programs. Some programs would start without it, and then you need your Amiga Workbench. Basically, this is like the whole operating system. You know, like it's on a floppy disk. So there we are, and we're into an operating system. It looks like. Workbench 1.2. So here is like all of your utilities. There's loading up there. So you got your, scroll down, you got your CTL, I guess that's like your command line, your clock, your trash can, empty, your preferences, utilities, demos. I wonder if there's any demos in here. Dots, lines, boxes, spots. I'll execute a demo just to see what will happen here. There we go. Cool. So just doing like, I don't know if I can make that bigger. So yeah, there's one of the demos running. Just doing box windows and stuff. There we go. Close that. Spots. And just doing spots and stuff. It doesn't, I don't think it has the ball demo. There's a line demo. I'll fire up the clock. There you got your clock. I don't know if that's the right time, but yeah, there's a little clock in there. Utilities. So, oh yeah, so it has notepad and calculator. Just the two? Yeah, notepad and calculator. So you just want to have a window for doing your text documents and stuff. You can do that here. Still not ready to go. There we go. So there's notepad working there. Notepad test. Keyboard's working. Make sure all the keys are working here. Yeah, still pretty well working. Good keyboard though. Say Commodore did a decent job on their keyboards. That's for sure. I can't find the Kickstart disc, but could I take this Marble Madness, pop it in there? There's only one drive. We'll see what happens. You'll probably load up Marble Madness, and you'll see it come up here. Out of here, and opens up the folder with Marble Madness. I'm not sure. I thought you might have had to use the Kickstart, but maybe you can use the Workbench disc to boot discs that need the booting disc. Yeah. Red player, input device, joystick, mouse. I want to use the mouse. Alright, well, let's see what the default says. Alright, so you point it looked like a balloon, but the ball, the marble, there. So it's Amiga's loading now. Time to finish. Am I using the joystick? Yeah, joystick is actually what I'm using. Okay. I'll just slow down. Okay, go down here. Alright, so the marble's just gonna roll down there. I'll try this. Can I use the mouse at all? I think the mouse is not doing anything. So I had it select for joystick. There, so I reached the goal. Okay, so what do I do now? Okay, it's gonna load up another screen. Now this is a game I never saw until a few years ago. When I saw it, I was like, this game's blowing me away. I'd never seen this game. And then I found out that there was ports to this for Nintendo and other game systems, but I just never saw it before. But I got the Linux version of this called Trackballs, which is a free program. More of a 3D, but I really love the colors of this game. So I think this black ball's going to try to interfere with me having fun here. Oh, I shattered. That black ball did me in. He's not being very friendly, like. Alright, go down here. Oh, I'm gonna get these little slinky things here. Or are they gonna get me? I think it ate me. Okay, so they're not very friendly either. Oh, there's a drawbridge. Go back. Oh, he pushed me down and I smashed. But I rematerialized. But then the green slime thing swallowed me up and ate me. Alright, go. Oh, I shattered. I'm not very good at games. I've already mentioned that. It's actually not too bad with the joystick. Well, this sucks, but it's really not that bad. But yeah, it does suck. Up over the edge. How many lives do I get on this thing anyway? It's hard.
Until your time runs out.
Oh. Bummer.
16 seconds left.
16 seconds? Okay, got through that thing. Alright, now I'm going to the green hole. Oh, so close to the goal. See the vortex? And I reached my goal! Yay! That was recorded, by the way. Little fingers reaching at my keyboard. Hit the Alt button. Okay, we'll put that away. It's nice that the keyboard hides away for kids. Extra time for race. Whoa! Well, I didn't get off to a good start there. This is difficulty 0. Like, seeing this, I should have bought a secondhand Amiga somehow and gotten this back in the 90s. Even though it would have been old, it would have been much better than my Commodore 64, that's for sure. I had a lot of 8-bit machines. I had the Commodore 64, the Atari ST. Oh, I melted away there. Actually, I didn't really know anyone who had an Amiga back in the 80s. Someone told me they had, or no, they had an Atari ST or something, and they never had me over. Out of time. But I watched YouTube now, and yeah, I'm glad I got this thing instead of an Atari ST. So, to confirm that the Sega Genesis joystick does work on the Commodore Amiga. Not really going very fast there. There we go. I wiped out. Look at that wipeout. The shame. Another thing I wanted to test out, just to see if the video output, just video out, would work on a modern day TV, or like a TV with an analog input. It does work. Not as good quality as it is here on the monitor. Also, I have it stretched because usually I don't like burning black lines on the sides of my screens, which even if they say the TVs don't do that, I've noticed they still do that. So, a mop is laying here. We're just looking at Winnie the Pooh. This mouse, though, I have to click on it a few times to actually get it to go. But these fonts, I remember they look very familiar, like almost like I went to a bowling alley a few years ago, and it looks like very similar. Like they're probably using an Amiga for their bowling system computer. So yeah, this is Winnie the Pooh's on the Amiga. It was one of the kids' games. I was just trying out. I had to load up Workbench or Kickstart, and then just go into the OS and load it up that way. Please like, share, and subscribe. Auto Octane YouTube channel, Twitter page, RobbieStrike3, and for my webpage, RobbieStrike.com, and my Facebook page, RobbieStrike Videos. Please go there, like, follow, share, subscribe, share the videos there with all your friends, because doing so will make you go from this to this. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Yeah!